What's up everybody, it's Marnik van den Broek and you are ready for your first ever conference. Yes, you spoke at corporate meetings, yes you did your team calls and your Zoom calls, but you have been asked or you've been working towards your first professional conference. You maybe get paid to speak there, or you know that you're surrounded by professional speakers. The audience paid to be there, to hear your content, to listen to you, and you know this is it. Then you do not want to be doing the 4 things that I'm going to mention in this video. These 4 things are going to sound very simple and stupid, and you'll know what I mean in a second. Simple and stupid, but in my 15 years on stage professionally, internationally at conferences, this is my job, getting paid to speak, these are the 4 things that I see the most happening with first-time conference speakers. And they lose their audience before they even actually got started, actually dove into their content and already lost the audience, the attention, the trust. You don't want that. So we'll give you the head start. And if you want that head start, stick around for this video. Without further ado, let's dive right in and see what these 4 pitfalls are that you don't want to walk into. Let's go.
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
What are 4 things you don't want to be doing in your first conference? When you're nervous, you're excited to be there, you want to make a great impression. What are the 4 things that you do not want to do? The pitfalls that you do not want to step in? Well, number 1 is you do not want to take a selfie. Don't take a selfie. Let's say you're nervous, but you're mostly excited. You're there. There's a lot of people, big stage, personal branding, super important. You want to make a name for yourself. So you're like, I'm there. I need to capture this moment. Let's take a selfie. I know it's with the best intentions, but please don't do it. I'm not saying you can't take a selfie, but do it at the end or incorporate it into your story that the audience knows as part of the experience, or you gave them already in half an hour, 20 minutes, an hour of great content, so they want to give you that selfie. But what most excited speakers do, first-time speakers, they come on stage and the first thing they do is, I'm so excited, I want to take a selfie with you guys. Just a quick moment, and it takes a couple of seconds for them to get the phone, do the posing, and they're taking the selfie, and they're not aware of the fact that the audience will of course let them take the selfie, but the audience is thinking like, seriously, we paid to be here. We paid to listen to you. We paid for this content. This is our time. I could have chosen another speaker. And the first moment when I decide as an audience, do you deserve as a speaker my attention and trust? You decide to take a selfie, to shove a camera in my face, and you haven't given me anything. Because it's a transaction between the speaker and the audience, and normally it's the speaker that's giving and the audience will give love and applause and appreciation back, but you haven't given anything. You haven't delivered any value, and you're a first-time speaker, so nobody knows you. And you come on stage and you take a selfie. It sounds, like I said, simple and stupid. What's wrong with a selfie, Marnik? But you see, definitely if you're sitting in the back, you see the audience tapping out. And you're like, oh, here we go again. Another excited speaker taking a selfie. If you want to take it in the middle, or take it at the end when you gave something in the transaction and the audience is willing to offer you a very excited picture, and they will be excited if you did a great speech. But do not do it at the beginning. You'll lose the audience. The second thing that you don't want to be doing is introducing yourself. It's normal to introduce yourself when you're at a network meeting, when you're in a Teams call with clients or investors. Everybody wants to know who's at the table. Perfectly logical. But at a conference, there's a host. There's always a host. Could be a bad host, a good host, but there's always a host. And a host will introduce you. If a host did their work well, or you contacted the host and made sure, like, this is what I want you to say about me, they will introduce you. They will give you a warm audience. And the audience, even with the brochure, online, offline, on the phone, they already know, they have chosen your talk to come to you and see you, so they know who's going to be on stage. So what will happen is the host will introduce you. They have read it on their phone or on the brochure of the conference, who you are, what you're going to talk about, what your background is. And definitely on these websites, you have whole bios of the speakers. And then you get introduced and the audience is ready to hear you. And then again, the first minutes is when the audience decides, what will this experience be? Who will this person? Does this person deserve my attention and trust? And what do? You reintroduce yourself. Let me introduce myself first. I am, and you start talking about your company and the offices you have and the people you work with and maybe a team building picture, whatever. You're wasting minutes. I do not care, because this person, this host, just told me. I read it on the website. I have it on my phone who you are. You only have half an hour. It's my precious time as an audience. Talk to me about content. Don't talk to me about reintroducing yourself. So let's say you combined both and you took a selfie and then you reintroduce yourself, even if the host introduced you. you're wasting so much valuable time and the audience already tapped out no matter what you're going to say afterwards. And you will see it, you will get nervous, and you're already lost before you started. And it's your first time. You were nervous and a bit excited. You want to be doing well. The third thing is, besides the selfie, the introduction, is apologizing. Definitely when you're nervous. Maybe something went wrong. You hesitated in the beginning. Something technical you didn't check up front, didn't work. There's something with the microphone. Your mouth is a bit dry. Whatever's going on, it's okay. It's okay to be nervous. The audience understands. They understand a little less at a professional conference because, remember, people paid for this. They're paying. It's not just an event, free event or a meeting internally. People pay to see this. It's like a show, a comedy show, a singer show. You paid, so they expect a certain professionalism. But still, people are very good and they have good intentions, so they will grant you a couple of minutes, definitely, if you're nervous. But what a lot of people will do is then they will start apologizing. Sorry this happened. Sorry my mic is not doing well. Sorry my mouth is dry. Sorry about this. Sorry about that. I should have adapted my slides. Sorry about... There's always something. So many speakers start with an excuse about an apology, and it's very polite to apologize. But again, those first seconds, those first minutes, I as an audience decide, is this worth my time and money? Is this worth my time and money? And in those first moments, I either get a camera in my face, I either get someone reintroducing themselves and wasting time, or someone is apologizing for not checking up front their tech stuff, not doing the preparation right, or being too nervous to be there and not being very professional and more like an amateur. I know it sounds hard, but more like an amateur. You don't want that, so do not apologize. If it's happening, just go straight in there, do your thing, and if it really bothers and there's an elephant in the room, yes, then mention it. But please try to avoid, I'm sorry for this, I'm sorry for that, definitely in the beginning. And then the fourth thing you don't want to be doing, the pitfall you don't want to step in, is speaker cards. Speaker cards. You can take notes. If you have like this screen at these conferences in front of you, you can take notes. And notes, I mean bullet points. You know, this is the point I want to make. This is how I link it to the next point. You won't have time to read sentences, so never write sentences or paragraphs because you will just be staring at the screen. You're nervous, excited, it's one big blur. You won't be reading it anyway. So if you do it on the monitors with some bullet points that will help you keep your tread. But do not take speaker cards. And then you'll say, Marnik, in this digital world, speaker cards? Who takes speaker cards? A lot of speakers. And even on the big conferences. And when I see people walking on stage, I'm like, why? People paid 900, 1,200 euros for this conference. You're supposed to be a professional speaker, and you walk on stage with speaker cards. And then you can say, yeah, but Marnik, I'm nervous. This is my first time. Cut me some slack. Seriously, you've been doing this for 15 years. Take your notes on the screen so the audience doesn't see. But speaker cards, imagine what that will say to the audience. It's you walking on stage, innocent, with your speaker cards, just there for some aid, some help. And it's telling the audience, hi, I am a speaker that got booked for this conference. You paid for this conference to listen to me. You decided to come to my session and maybe not another speaker. So you grant me your time, your attention. And I didn't take the time to prep myself very well because I still need speaker cards. I don't trust my own ability to speak, to remember my story, to actually know what I'm talking about. So I'll take these speaker cards with me and show you that I'm afraid that I will lose my dread, that I don't know what I'm talking about, and that I will need this maybe to read and actually say to you, well, you paid money, but I'm not really a professional. I know it sounds hard, but that's how strict I am. I won't be that strict in a normal event, that it's free, that is internal. Still take your notes. I'm not a fan of speaker cards, but I will grant you that and I will be very mild on it. But if it's a professional conference, a big conference, you do not take speaker cards. You do not read your notes. You prepare yourself or you help someone else prepare with you, a speaker coach, a storytelling coach, and make sure, even if you're nervous and excited, that you're there. Yes, there can be some nerves. You're just human, but you're there to perform. This is the next level. This is no longer just a meeting. This is conference speaking. People pay to be there, so perform and show them that you're professional and that you respect their time and attention and their money that they paid to be there. So those are the 4 things. I know, simple, stupid things, but in the 15 years of experience, those are the 4 most made mistakes or pitfalls I see starting speakers, nervous speakers, overexcited speakers step into at their first conference speech. Avoid them, and they're very easy to avoid. Avoid them and you already give yourself a head start and give a beautiful presentation, beautiful speech, and maybe it will kickstart a beautiful conference career and you'll be the next keynote speaker at a conference that I'm at. And I'm like, hey, that's a person that watched the video and they're not doing any of these 4 things and they're really rocking it. I wish it to you. Hope it helps. If so, like, subscribe. You know the drill. I was Marnik van den Broek. Bye-bye.
Are you listening? Damn.